Welcome to a brand new perspective. It's the monthly mother-daughter download you don't want to miss.
Hi, and welcome to this episode of A Brand New Perspective. I'm your host, Linda Bethay.
And I'm your other co-host, Finley.
Sorry, I'm your co-host, Linda Bethay.
I'm your other co-host.
My sassy co-host. Although I guess you have a reason to be sassy. Congratulations on finishing sophomore year yesterday. You're officially done and on summer vacation.
Yes, thank goodness.
So thank you for going right to work and joining the podcast on your first official day of summer vacation. We appreciate it. Today's episode is all about brand new ways to build communities. Some people say that in marketing, a brand is only as strong as the community that surrounds it. Today, we're going to talk about the different types of communities and how they can be powerful marketing tools for brands. I think there's 3 different types of communities when it comes to thinking about the ones that spring up around a brand. I think number 1, there are the types of communities that are driven by a deep passion for the brand. 2, there are those that can be formed through collaboration with the brand itself. And then 3, there are those that are built around shared interests or passion points. So let's start with number 1, those driven by a deep passion for the brand. I think a really good example of this would be Nike. They have a really loyal brand following and a really robust online community of people that love the brand. And they've really leaned in and cultivated that. They have something called Nike Talk that provides members with exclusive access to product launches, workout plans, and other insights while facilitating connections and other opportunities through these forums. So I think my question for you, Finley, is, are there any brands that you have such a deep passion for that you would join their community or ones you've already joined?
Definitely. I know once I'm in college, I've seen a lot of people be Alani Nu ambassadors that I follow that are in college, or Bloom. I do love my Blooms. I've always loved Bloom, but recently I've been drinking a lot more of those than Alani's. But I think those are cool platforms. And I know a lot of girls in college that I follow are part of those. I even think I'm working retail this summer. And I know everyone who works there genuinely loves the brand. I'm so excited to work there. But I think it truly does make a difference. I've noticed when I'm shopping or if I'm going in to a store or a restaurant somewhere, it's the people who do like to work there, it makes a better experience for the customers. And
yeah,
so
I think it feels more authentic,
really tell,
right?
Yeah, you can tell when the people who work there genuinely want to be there and aren't just there for the money, and they want to be spending their time there. And it makes the customer experience definitely more enjoyable.
Yeah, they become brand ambassadors because they have a true affinity for the brand versus someone that's just being paid to promote the brand.
Definitely.
It makes a big difference, I think, particularly with younger consumers and Gen Z that really value authenticity. And I think that's one of the powerful parts of brand communities is they can quickly cut through the bullshit and really showcase what's real about a brand and what they truly love about it. So back to your affinity for Bloom, what is it that you love about that brand that you'd want to be part of that community and be a brand ambassador?
This is specific to Bloom, but I've also noticed some other companies been doing this recently where companies are trying to be more transparent about what goes into their product, which I really like. Another would be The Ordinary. They're a skincare brand. I have some of their products, but they're very clear about what goes into every product. And so it's very clear about what I'm putting onto my skin. For Bloom, it's very clear what I'm putting into my body, which I very much so appreciate. Even just on this packaging, it says it has this in it, and here's what it is. It's a prebiotic soda. Here's the nutrition. It's all very clear. And I personally look for that in a brand when there's a product that has a ton of words that I can't even begin to pronounce. I usually try and stray away from those because I know that if I can't pronounce it, it probably can't be very good for me. But I think brands that are usually very transparent make me feel better when I'm buying it because it feels like they have nothing to hide. They're being authentic. They also do have just the coloring, the packaging. It's very summer. It's definitely catered towards a younger audience, which I like. I mean, I am the younger audience, so.
You are our Gen Z representative. So Bloom's obviously one of many brands playing in that space. What are they doing differently to build a community or engage those that have a passion for the brand?
I know I follow them on social media a lot. They have a good social media presence. If you look on their bottle, they have their Instagram and their TikTok on the bottom, which I haven't seen a ton of other brands do that, which I think is really nice because then it's also a clear way for people to be like, I want to go look at their social media. What is it? Oh, it's right on the bottle that I'm currently drinking. And I think that that's a really good way for them to engage. That's how I got to their social media. And I follow people who are brand ambassadors for them. I know a lot of brands have been doing this where they will have people apply to be brand ambassadors versus like brand ambassadors be chosen, which I like because it feels more authentic to me. Because people who are applying are people who genuinely love the product and aren't applying just for money or for other reasons. I think they do a good job of connecting with their audience. I know so many people were asking with the Shirley Temple popularity, so many people asked, we want a Shirley Temple flavor. So what did they do? They made a Shirley Temple flavor. It feels like they listened to what their customers want.
So that's a great segue into the second type of brand community. So it sounds like they're straddling the lines, because the second type are those that are formed through collaboration with the brand itself. So it sounds like they are partnering with their community to help develop new products. They're gleaning insights from those that are fans of the product and listening to what they want to inform the innovation pipeline.
Definitely. I think also another brand, I want to say it was Poppi that did the collaboration with Love Island for one of their drinks. I've been very much so into the like probiotic, prebiotic sodas recently, so I know a lot of those brands. But with Love Island just coming out, was the first episode last night? I think so.
Yes.
But they did a collaboration with that, and I think that was a really good example of great marketing because they connected. It's to a younger audience, but it can also connect to a little bit of older audiences. I know I'm trying to get you to watch it with me.
That could be our summer show.
And they're building off the popularity of the influencers who have gone on the show, but then they're also connecting it to their brand. Because I wouldn't really think a probiotic soda would connect to Love Island in any way, but they did a great job connecting it. They released a drink in collaboration with one of the girls who was super popular on it. And now when I see something Love Island related, I also think of Poppi.
I think more brands are trying to tap into what Gen Z is interested in and align with that to drive more affinity and cultural relevance. But back to the point around collaborating with your community, I think a really amazing example of a brand that's built a brand based on that is Glossier.
Yeah, definitely.
So we had an opportunity to visit their flagship store during a trip to London a few years ago, and I was really impressed with their approach to building out that fandom and inviting people into the brand to truly be part of it, give feedback on products. Every single product was out for you to test and give feedback. And I know a lot of stores, a lot of beauty stores have some samples or testers, but this was purposely designed in a way that they wanted you to play with the products. They wanted you to try things out and they wanted you to give feedback.
I think another good example is Kendra Scott. They don't have as many in-person stores as I've seen. Their brand is mainly built online. But what I like is they have, I forget what it's called. It's like the color bar. It's some sort of thing where you can customize a lot of their jewelry. So you get to pick if you want to do an earring or a bracelet or whatever you want to do. You pick the gem colors. I think that's why it's called like the color bar. And you can kind of customize it, which is a way to play around within their brand, which I think is cool because it like allows the customer to be within the experience itself. While also still having you buy their stuff. And then they also do have a ton of other cute jewelry. I own some that isn't customizable, but I've also been looking at customizing some of my own pieces because I really like how they've done that. But I think that's another interesting way where they're getting customers involved in the Kendra Scott community while also allowing these customers to feel like it's personal.
Yeah, it invites people into the brand and creates a two-way relationship. So it doesn't feel like a brand talking at you or, to your point, just trying to sell you something. It's inviting you to be part of something bigger, but also something that you can personalize, which is another big trend, I think, with your generation.
Yeah.
So have you ever collaborated with a brand or provided feedback on products to help inform the future direction?
I think I've collaborated with some of your brands for sure. I've helped give some feedback. I remember my favorite parts of going to your office would be trying like up and coming yogurt flavors or different drink flavors. I would love to do that. Even this wasn't more so collaboration, but recently back in October when we went to Vegas, I got to try the newly launched creamers. Those were really good. I got to try and like talk to people about the packaging, and I think that was really nice. And it's a way for me to get an experience with the brand besides just seeing it in stores. I think it would be nice if brands did more things like that for the general community, because obviously if you didn't work there, I wouldn't have had the opportunity to do so. But I liked trying the new flavors and seeing what I liked, what I didn't, and then the ability to give feedback. I think it could be cool if maybe there was some sort of like big event like in the city or something where like a super popular brand was like, oh, here, you can come and try this before we officially launch it, and then they can get feedback on it.
The idea of co-creating with consumers isn't new. I remember one of the first products I worked on Lay's potato chips way back before social media was a program called Lay's Do Us a Flavor. We had consumer insights that revealed that consumers have very regional flavor preferences for potato chips. So, for example, barbecue tends to be the #1 selling flavored potato chip. But people across the country like different types of barbecue flavors. Some like spicy barbecue, some like sweet barbecue. And so we leaned into that and we put out a call to consumers, share with us your ideal flavor of a Lay's potato chip. And we took all of that feedback from consumers and we created 5 different regional flavors that we sold for a short period of time and asked people to vote on the one that they wanted us to keep as a permanent flavor. So I think that was my first experience with co-creating with consumers. But this was, again, many, many years ago, and we didn't have social media at our disposal. I think the advent of social media and the ability to tap into an online community has really improved the ability to create that two-way dialogue and to get instantaneous feedback that can shape your brand and your innovation pipeline.
Definitely. And I think that's a really good example of how brands did it back then. But even now, like, I'm just thinking of how it was certainly successful, but it could be 10 times more successful now with social media.
Brands that have an understanding of their consumer target and can really lean into those insights have always been successful. And brands today have more of those insights at their disposal because of the ability to reach people online, reach people in real time, and really create those fandoms. And if you think about the word fandom, that's kind of a buzzword in the industry right now, but it's just a word, it's a fancy word for shared enthusiasm, right? Fan is just a shortened version of fanatic, somebody that has an extreme passion towards something.
It's interesting that you say that fandom is a word that's really buzzing in the marketing industry, because when I think of fandom, I don't think of marketing. Obviously, I don't work in marketing, but my first thought is like for movies and TV shows. It's interesting that how much like the fandoms are now segueing into other parts of the entertainment world. Because you could say marketing is entertainment. I think the best marketing jobs that are done are the ones that are entertaining and fun to watch. But I know like when a lot of people they do, oh, like I like this character and this character together. Oh, I like them as friends. Oh, this, oh, that. But I think it's interesting. That's what I think of when I think of fandom. I think it'd be interesting. Maybe they'd be like, oh, well, this duo of products is really good. We like this duo better than we like this duo. And it's like, which are you a fan of? Like, I feel like it'd be interesting if maybe they did something with that, incorporating the type of fandom that I think at least I'm used to. I think a lot of people in my generation are more used to fandoms in terms of shows and TV.
So we're shipping products together.
Yes.
Did I use that word correctly?
Yes.
Awesome. No, but you're absolutely right. Humans are hardwired to want to belong to something, to be part of a community. And I think the original fandoms were around things like movies, TV shows, sports teams, right? I grew up in New England. I am a proud masshole. And so I've been a huge fan of the New England Patriots my entire life. And I consider myself a part of that community. I was a season ticket holder for years. I have a New England Patriots license plate. That enables me to feel part of something, even though I no longer live in the backyard of Patriot Stadium. And I think to your point, people have the same affinity and build the same communities around TV shows, movies, music. I think about Taylor Swift and the Swifties, Beyonce and the Bayhive, right?
Is that what
Justin and the Believers.
I was going to say, I know the Believers.
I was a Deadhead growing up,
Grateful Dead?
Yes. So I think, again, it's human nature to want to be part of something, which is why so many different types of fandoms exist. And it used to be that people would have to go to a sporting event or go to a concert to participate in those fandoms. There really wasn't another way other than that IRL experience. And again, today, one of the benefits, one of the positive aspects of social media is that it enables you to be a part of a community from anywhere.
Definitely. I know I just went to a concert a couple days ago and I was so excited to go. And I know a lot of my friends didn't go, but even the ones who didn't go, they were just as much a part of the fan base for this artist as the ones who went, if not more. It's like how you connect with it. But I think the growth of social media the past couple of years has really allowed for fandoms to grow as well. And I think the artists or brands that target social media specifically are the ones who truly excel with their fandom.
And it enables you to connect on things that you may not have been able to connect on before. So, for example, I'm not a huge car person, but I love Jeeps. And I've owned Jeeps throughout the years. I'm part of a number of different Jeep Facebook groups. And so that's a way for me to feel part of this bigger Jeep community, learn more about my car, other Jeep traditions, Jeep Easter eggs, and things like that, 20 years ago when I bought my first Jeep, I wasn't able to do. And so for me, that deepens my connection to the brand and my affinity for the car itself.
Definitely. I've been into a lot of true crime recently. So this is kind of going back to TV, but I'm a part of a lot of true crime groups on Facebook. I don't use Facebook that often, but I will say I do like my Facebook groups that I'm a part of. I am also a part of a Jeep Facebook group. And it's interesting. I feel like I'm connecting not only with like the overall fandom itself, but the individual people within it, which is something super interesting to me because it's like I'm connecting with, for the Jeep, I'm connecting to Jeep, the brand, but I'm connecting to all these Jeep lovers too.
Yeah, it enriches the experience, right? You already loved the brand, but this adds another layer.
Now I love the people of the brand.
Yes, exactly. You are now officially part of that community and part of that fandom.
Yeah.
Another great example would be Goodreads. We're both avid
I love
readers.
Goodreads.
Yes, right? That's an online community built around people with a shared passion for reading.
Definitely. There's also Belli. I don't know if you know Belli.
I don't know Belli.
If you don't, you should. I love food. It is, so do you.
We both
So
love
you
food.
should know Belli. It's an app and like I follow my friends on it and I can rate places that I go to for food and upload pictures and then you can see what other people like. It'll give you recommendations. I've been recently vlogging the places that I go. I recently just had some of the restaurants like my posts on Instagram for the places I've been, but Belli's very similar to Goodreads in the sense that you rate, in this instance, the places that you went to eat. You can upload pictures and it'll give you recommendations for ones based on your ratings.
So it's basically a Yelp for Gen Z.
It's Yelp, but yeah, pretty much, honestly. Yeah.
Because you guys are
Yelp
too
for
cool
the
for
younger
Yelp. Yelp is
generation.
cringe, so you needed to create your own app.
Yeah, we have Belli.
Awesome. Okay, just checking.
We're on a separate planet over here.
Yes, I know. I try to bridge that gap and learn all the Gen Z lingo, but sometimes
Get Belli.
Get Belli. Okay. But I think from a marketing standpoint, what's really interesting about these communities is it's not just about the shared passion or the feeling of belonging, but the influence that some of these communities can have on brands and business. They actually have the ability to shape public opinion and move economies. You talked about Taylor Swift earlier. The Swifties, I think, are one of the most powerful fandoms that exist. Obviously, her
probably one of the
Eras
largest
tour,
too.
yes, largest, most passionate, most engaged. Her Eras tour, I think, was the highest selling tour of all time, over $2 billion. But it's what it did for other industries as well. You remember because we went to the Taylor Swift concert. Yeah. One of the things that became a way to engage fans at the concerts was the trading of friendship bracelets.
Definitely. That was a really unique experience. I have not experienced that at any other concerts that I have been to. The one I went to a couple days ago, there wasn't anything like that. There's merch at every concert and you still talk to other people there, but the trading of the friendship bracelets was something that was truly unique to Taylor Swift and her concert. And I think it was pretty genius, honestly, that her marketing team was able to kind of make that a thing. And I think it'd be really great if other brands or musicians did that, because I think I talked to more people at that concert than at any other one that I've been to, and I've been lucky to go to a good amount, but it definitely changed my experience.
You weren't just having an experience sitting amongst fans, it actually forced you to interact. Yes. And beyond that, think about what that did for the craft stores, right? Because leading up to the concert, every girl that was attending that concert, or boy, or parent, or whatnot, was
I went
buying the
to
materials. to make the bracelets. So again, the influence that fandom had on a store like Michael's or just, the craft community in general is huge. Then you think about, for example, the broader influence. Once Taylor started dating Travis, all of a sudden the Swifties were becoming football fans. Think about the impact that the Swifties had on the NFL. If we were sitting here 10 years ago and said, will Taylor Swift have an impact on the NFL? People would have thought we were crazy. And yet, I think she was single-handedly responsible for a significant increase in female interest in football.
I think it's interesting. I know I've been a football fan, but I think it's interesting. Some of my friends who were Taylor Swift fans now will watch football and they're like, oh, well, I watch it for Taylor Swift's boyfriend. And a lot of them don't even know who he is. But even that, they will watch it because, oh, well, Taylor Swift's boyfriend plays.
Yeah.
And even then, even if they don't know too much about it, now a lot of my friends who originally started watching because of that are now truly invested in the sport and do love it. But it's like an unlikely connection that now has gotten the NFL true fans, which wouldn't have happened before.
Exactly. And beyond just true fans, the ability to sell merchandise because everybody was watching what Taylor was wearing to the games. And I think one time she wore a custom jacket made by an up-and-coming designer. And all of a sudden, that influence, all the Swifties wanted to know who that designer was and wanted a jacket.
Not up-and-coming anymore.
Right, exactly. But again, that goes back to the influence that certain people and certain fandoms can have on brands, on institutions, on economies, which is pretty amazing. So as I think from a marketing standpoint, how can marketers really tap into communities and tap into fandoms as part of their marketing strategy? I think what's really important is embracing fan culture that already exists. I think it's really hard as a brand to have a build it and they will come mentality versus figure out where people already are and how you can tap
where
into
they
that.
are.
I think Taylor's, an individual example. It's a much harder for brands to replicate. It's more about tapping into things that people are already passionate about. I would say a good recent example would be the heated rivalry fandom.
I was going to bring that up.
Right? I think that's one that became such a cultural phenomenon that cuts across all demographics. Your generation loves it. My generation loves it. And, there's heated rivalry edits. There's brands that are now tapping into this because it's become such a huge popular fandom.
Yeah. It's gotten to the point, one of my friends has a heated rivalry flag in her room. I wouldn't have thought of a flag even being something that could connect to it, but they find ways. I know the books have become 10 times more popular now than they ever were now that the show's up there. The people who run heated rivalry, like the author and the people who created the show, I think they do a good job of connecting with the fans of what they're already into versus just trying to create. They turned a book that was already popular into a great show, and then they're using that show to now connect with the fans of the book and connect with new fans. And I think the way that they've done it is really great.
I think you hit the nail on the head where it's how do you tap into a fan base that exists, but then
Create
use it to
more.
expand.
Yeah.
And I think about some of the work I did on Captain Morgan. We had a huge issue with that brand where it had been built on frat boy culture that wasn't super relevant in a modern day and age. And we needed to find a way to credibly reinsert the brand into culture. And so we knew we couldn't create culture ourselves. We didn't have the credibility to be able to do that. And so we mined some consumer insights to understand, okay, what is a community in the US that's on the rise where our target audience has a lot of passion and it's also a place where they're naturally likely to consume a drink like Captain Morgan, and it was soccer. There is a huge passionate fan base around soccer in the US. And so we actually did a partnership with MLS, Major League Soccer, but more importantly than the national partnership, we went deep into local communities and partnered with 10 local teams because that's where the true passionate fandom lies. They have their team colors, their team chants, the bars they go to before and after the games, the rituals at the games themselves. And so by tapping into that and becoming a part of that soccer culture, we're able to create some cultural relevance for Captain Morgan. And I remember our campaign that year, we actually went and shot our content in those Major League Soccer stadiums in the local communities, and we cast fans. And that just brought the reality of that passion to life because they were so excited to be there. They brought their own gear, right? We didn't have to, outfit them with wardrobe. They wanted to wear, the scarf they wear to every home game that has been, with them through the ups and downs. I mean, it was just a way to really connect in an authentic way with a passionate fan base.
Definitely. I don't drink. I can't drink, but so I can't relate to that one specifically. But I do think it's interesting how the fans brought their own gear. And I think because I know a lot of times, obviously, at least for the ones that I know from what you've worked on, there is hair and makeup and wardrobe. But the fact that you guys really did embrace it and you were like, yes, let's have the fans wear what they already wear is a great example of connecting to the community.
Yeah. We weren't going in and trying to change the culture. We wanted to understand it and be part of it in an
And I think
authentic
that's part of
way.
the reason it was so successful. You didn't try and change
Absolutely.
it, you just tried to collaborate with it.
Yes. And I think that is what can drive success because fans tend to be consumers that are more engaged, they're more loyal, and they're more likely to recommend what they love to others. They're going to be those brand ambassadors that are sharing things via word of mouth, sharing things online, and that can drive additional awareness and affinity for your brand, what we in the marketing world called KPIs. Because at the end of the day, it may be nice and fun to build a fan base, but you need it to drive your brand and business outcomes.
Definitely.
Awesome. All right. So, continuing on the theme of communities and fandoms, this episode's cool or cringe topic is the top 20 fandoms or most engaged fan communities, according to Wiki. So, I want your Gen Z perspective on whether or not you think these top 20 fandoms are cool or cringe. Number 1 fandom, Harry Potter.
That does not surprise me. Cool. I'm a huge Harry Potter fan myself. And I think the way that they've done it, I've been lucky to go to Harry Potter World. An incredible experience, let me tell you. But definitely cool. The way that they've done that is so incredible.
I mean, we've read all the books. We've watched each
Watched all the
movie
movies
probably
multiple times.
10 times. We've been to Harry Potter World. We bought the wand. We did the full-on experience, and it was incredible.
So definitely cool.
Number 2, Marvel.
Okay, I will say cool. I'm not a Marvel fan myself personally, but I think they have built a really great fandom between the comics and the movies. And I know a lot of my friends who are fans, so I'll say cool. Just
I
I'm
mean, I
not a
think
part of it
the
personally.
concept of the Marvel universe and the fact that it isn't just about, to your point, the comics or the movies, but the merchandise, the characters, the backstories. I mean, they've
Definitely.
really
And
built
I like
out.
that it's all connected too.
Yes, that's hence the
So
universe, right? They've built
definitely,
out
yeah,
full
it is a universe. So
360
definitely cool.
degree engagement for their fan
Yeah.
base.
So definitely cool.
Number 3, Star Wars.
Cool. Very cool. I think, especially now with a lot of the spin-off shows like The Mandalorian, they've found a way to connect newer audiences and newer fans and bring that in. I think for some newer fans, having the spin-off shows is great. They also have done a great job at theme parks too, and they have the characters. At Disney, they have a really cool experience there. I think they've done a great job of connecting it to a lot of generations and building a fandom. I know a lot of people, would you have a blue lightsaber or a red one? And so that's kind of a fun way to interact with their fandom, not kind of by splitting them, but ultimately they're split in the same world. So they're still all connected.
Yeah, but it's a way to drive that conversation and engagement within the
Even
community.
we were playing a game in my math class the other day, just finished school, and Star Wars got brought up. And everybody in my math class is so different, but everybody knew what Star Wars was. Everybody loved it.
And that's a testament to the strength of the community and the franchise that has started in the 70s and has lasted all the way through to 2026 in your generation.
Definitely.
All right, number 4, Game of Thrones.
Okay.
You've never seen it, right?
I've seen one episode. I just started watching. I'll say cool because I personally like how it connects the people who are fans of the books to now the show, but I just don't personally. I'm not a part of that fandom, maybe not yet, but I think cool.
Number 5, BTS.
Is that the K-pop band?
Yes.
That's who we're referring to? Okay. I would say cool. I think they did a great job. Same with Cat's Eye. I think they both did a great job with their fandom. I personally am not a part of either, but I also think with the K-pop Demon Hunters movie, I think K-pop itself has had like a really big blow up in a lot of different industries over the last couple of years. And I think these fandoms have really kind of been part of that.
Star Trek.
I'm going to have to say not cool. I'm a Star Wars fan, ride or die. So I will have to say not cool on that one. But
Your first cringe.
yeah.
Lord of the
Cringe.
Rings.
Is that The Hobbit? Is that what the Hobbits?
The
Yeah.
trilogy.
Okay. I'll say cool. I think it's such a classic. And I don't think you can say cringe to such a classic that bridges so many different generations.
If you have not read it, highly recommend for your summer reading. All right, this one I know your answer already. Roblox.
I was playing Roblox the other day. I know it's geared towards younger kids. I still love it. I love it. And I also love it because it connects fandoms of other things. So you know how the Backrooms movie just came out?
I do not.
Okay, well, we're going to go.
Okay.
There's a game on Roblox that is the Backrooms. And I think it's also, like, a lot of times there's a game on there that was helping me study for one of my classes. Like, it's a way for them to connect.
Was it really?
Yes, honestly, yeah. It just has so much opportunity that you can kind of connect a ton of different fan bases. I know I was playing a Harry Potter game on Roblox the other day. Like, there's just so much opportunity for so many different fandoms to become part of the Roblox fandom. And I think it is genius how Roblox has done it, where they can build their own fandom, but also connect with others.
Is it genius, or does it take away from the Roblox experience, right? Does the fandom that you're already part of supersede the Roblox?
I don't think so. I know there's a lot of games that I play that are just Roblox, and I know there are a lot of games like Adopt Me or Bloxburg that I think people know as Roblox, and I think people know the avatars and everything. So I think if anything, it strengthens their community because it allows people to be a part of both.
Good perspective. All right, next up, DC Comics. So similar to Marvel.
I'll say cool. I'm going to be honest. I confuse Marvel and DC a lot.
I have no idea. You're asking the wrong person.
Yeah, those just aren't my type of books or
franchises.
movies. But I know both have done an incredible job with the characters and the storylines. So I'd say that one's also cool.
Okay, next one's another game, Minecraft.
Cool. I think they've done a lot. I know, like, there's even Minecraft Legos now.
Yep.
There was a Lego movie. I think Minecraft has done a lot where they've built their fandom into other things as well, not just the game.
So later in the list, actually, Lego is one of the top 20 fandoms as well.
That makes sense. Yep.
And I think to your point on Roblox, they're one where Lego itself has a huge fandom. People that love Legos, they have the Lego movie, they have the Lego amusement parks, but they're also tapping into other fandoms with Star Wars Legos, Minecraft Legos, Harry Potter Legos, right?
Definitely.
Lots of crossovers there.
Definitely.
All right, next up, Twilight. You've never read the books or seen the movies.
I don't want to say cringe, but I think I'm going to.
No.
I know. I think I'm going to say cringe because to me, it feels like the fandom is more of your generation.
Yeah.
My generation is very much so more, we've watched the Vampire Diaries. And so I think for a fan base to be truly successful, it should reach across multiple generations. I know Roblox doesn't do that as much either.
For a fandom to be successful, you want it to be timeless versus timely.
I think even though Roblox doesn't reach a ton of generations, like, gaming in itself is a timeless thing, whether it's online or a card game or a board game.
Mhm.
So I don't think that that's, like, going out of style.
Okay, well, then you'll like the next one because I think it cuts across generations, and we're both, I would say, part of this fandom.
Spotify.
The Hunger Games.
Oh, cool. Yes, very cool. I love it. The books, the movies. I think a lot of trilogies, like, do a really good job. I know Divergent did a good job, Maze Runner, Hunger Games, like, anything that's a series, I think does a great job. It keeps people connected. They did a good job with their fan base. I see so many people dressing up as Katniss for Halloween or different things. I even see there's a trend on TikTok trying to, like, recreate the voices of the characters. So they've done a good job of connecting their fan base.
Okay, next up, Pokemon.
I'm not a Pokemon fan, but definitely cool. They've done a lot from the cards to the game to, like, the movies. So I will say they've done a great job with that. I'm not a Pokemon fan.
Yeah. Another great example of inserting the brand in multiple channels and giving an opportunity for a broader fan base to connect,
successful because of that.
Yeah, they want to collect the cards, whether they want to engage in the multimedia. All right, Disney.
Cool. I think Disney's done such a great job. They've connected multiple generations. If you're older and you don't like Disney, you should. It's awesome.
Disney adults is a huge
Disney
thing.
adults is a huge thing. I love Disney, but I think they've done a great job. And their fan base is so wide, but it's also still connected.
Mhm.
So I think they've done a good job.
Okay, final one, Dungeons and Dragons.
I'm gonna say cringe because the only reason that I know what Dungeons and Dragons is because of Stranger Things. And maybe that's just me or like younger generations in general, but I feel like the only reason I know of a specific fandom is from another thing, that it can't be that successful on its own, at least not for my generation.
It's one that was probably one of the original fandoms that
Definitely.
really went deep and people had strong loyalty and
Affinities
engagement.
for. So I think in that sense, it's definitely successful. I just think it's kind of been left in the past a little bit.
Okay, a little dated.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for your cool or cringe perspective on the top fandoms. And thank you, everybody, for joining today to hear more about different types of brand communities and how to leverage them as part of your marketing objectives. Hopefully, you gained a brand new perspective.
And as always, make sure to follow our social media, Brand New Perspective 3, on Instagram and TikTok. We'll do teasers of new episodes and some funny bloopers.
Awesome. Tune in next time.